What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome. I am the Crypto Crow. Some cool stuff to talk about, but I also wanted to give you kind of a get real, a get real kind of lecture today. One thing I wanted to mention for those of you that miss the original Crow Your Coins intro song, it's coming back soon. I talked to the producer of that song, and I guess what happened was he had added the track to some sort of aggregator that sends it out all over the place, and some of the royalty rights groups picked it up, and YouTube just started flagging me for using my own song because I guess it wasn't my name. I don't know how that stuff works anymore, but the long and short of it is I went ahead and I paid him to remix the song so that it's different from the original. And then he's going to send it to me in an NFT. I'm going to own all the rights to it 100%. I do whatever I want with it. So that will be nice to have my original song back because I miss it as much as you guys, if not more, to be honest. I used to love that song. And yeah, YouTube would stop. They would shut all the monetization down on my channel. So yeah, we're getting that resolved. Hopefully before Christmas is the plan. So we'll see. And Twisted Times, I want to touch base with this because this has been a huge undertaking for me. And this thing, the treasure hunt is coming, because the platform. So just so you understand, a part of this whole series is to be the flagship launch for my Cardano based NFT auction house, our NFT marketplace. And there's a lot of stuff that we want to do with that, but ultimately there's some features that I haven't seen on other platforms yet that we're going to have. And because of that, I'm going to be able to launch this the way I originally intended. And it's a pretty big deal. So I'm not even going to say anything about that yet. Basically, we're going to have some pretty significant internal testing, some beta testing or alpha testing, whatever you want to call it, and then we launch. And I'm trying to get this series all done. I will say this about Twisted Times: the puzzles and the ciphers are going to start off easy, and they're going to get more and more difficult about every 5. To the point where it will take a community to solve some of this stuff. It's going to take some outside of the box thinking. It's going to take a lot of work, because I'm going through these initial ciphers and the way I'm setting them up, and I'm like, this is probably pretty easy. This one's pretty easy. But I think ultimately, because a lot of these are going to be ciphers I am creating myself. The closer you get to the 24th cipher, I'm going to be creating these myself with little hints as to how they were created, and that's going to get really tricky. So my hope is that it's not too difficult that nobody can ever solve it. I don't want to end up with like a Voynich manuscript of NFTs. I want to see somebody win and unlock the wallet, but I'll get more into that later. Now, I want to touch on price action a little bit, and then we're going to get into some things. Currently, Bitcoin's on a weekly chart is still just kind of hanging out. This is the most indecisive weekly candle I've seen in a while, especially because it's just under this 21 weekly moving average, which we want this to close above the 21 weekly moving average. And it's looking a little grim, and it's been hanging pretty much just hanging out. Now, Ethereum, on the other hand, looks like it took somebody's lunch money and it's running away with it. It might have been Bitcoin's. So, man, Ethereum is, I just did some transactions. I just registered some ENS domains. The cost of the domains was like $75 because I registered them for like 15 years. And the transaction fees was like $250. It's just so nuts. But I guess because there's so many people that bought in Ethereum, when it was, $1,000 or $80 or $100, whatever the heck they're not as worried about the fees because they're just basically spending profit, pure profit. It's almost like having free money to some people. So they're, and a lot of the stuff, a lot of the fees that people are paying are in these DeFi applications and whatnot. Now, here's the thing. We're going to get into some stuff. I do have a paid segment towards the end. I want to touch on Crow mining. If you're looking at getting into Bitcoin mining at all, Crow mining is still going. The community is still going. I have a bunch of these miners still going. I've been doing, honestly, I've been doing pretty decent for a while with my miners. You have to go into the Telegram group, ask questions, find out what people's thoughts are. We have had some hardware failures and things like that, some replacements and the different things that have happened with some of the units. But ultimately, I mean, the things are being taken care of. So, and it's been really, really, really difficult to get mining equipment. And apparently the guys that are running all of this, I'm just a marketing partner. I'm just kind of like, here's me, it's Crow mining, that kind of thing. I mean, we've had this going for years now, and I think people are starting to really enjoy the yield that they're getting. I've done videos on calculating mining yield from a miner. Like if you cost this much to buy the equipment and you're mining for this long, is it worth it, or is it more worth it to just buy the Bitcoin and sit on it? At this point, I think it would be time to do another one of those kind of calculation videos, because there's so many different variables into it. But if you love mining and you like the idea of, like, I'm just going to put some, you like the idea of owning equipment that'll continue purring away for years, hopefully, if you don't have any issues, check out crowmining.com. Apparently, we have an infinite supply. I'm sure it's not infinite, but apparently there's a new shipment, a new pathway to mining equipment. And so just join the community if you're interested. Check it out. And hopefully you have fun with that. I honestly, I like having miners. I don't check my wallets very often, but when I do, I'm like, oh, okay, that's cool. I mean, it's a pleasant surprise. Looking at CoinMarketCap right now, we're seeing Ethereum at $4,437. Bitcoin's been hanging out at 50,000, almost 51. Cardano, it's basically been hovering around $140. Okay, and this leads me into the whole point of this discussion. Now, some of this is what's the word I'm looking for? Inspired by the Cardano climate, okay, as well as some of these meme tokens, early adopters, so forth and so on. The title of this video is 3,000 in, 10 million out. Okay, and I'm not telling you, like, if you put $3,000 into this, you're going to get 10 million out. The idea of this video is to kind of help you understand my journey in crypto since 2017, what I've noticed having been through this now full cycle. I see a lot of people referencing me as an OG because I've been at this a while, and I'm not real flashy, and I don't do a lot of real quick edits and all of that stuff. I just kind of call it how I see it. I do the best that I can. I try to help people as I can. I've just been kind of making my own way in the crypto space since 2017 and just sharing what I've learned. And, I get emotional sometimes. I get frustrated sometimes. I get angry sometimes. It just kind of depends on what's happening and what's going on. And I see a drastic change in the financial climate of late. And it's, to some degree, it's exciting. To some degree, it's very scary. And I see so many more newcomers coming into the cryptocurrency space expecting to be able to turn $3,000 into millions of dollars. And there are certain factors that play into that kind of opportunity. And I wanted to address some of those. Cryptocurrency, ever since I got into cryptocurrency, it's done very well for how it's changed my life. YouTube has done very well for how it's changed my life. And, a lot of us YouTubers who we research a lot of stuff, and we've been kind of in this mix for a while now. We've kind of seen things happen. We do a lot better than, somebody who just comes in off the street. They've got a couple grand to risk, and they throw it into some tokens and hope for the best. As YouTubers, we hear things, we see things, we read things. We do a lot more work because it's a part of our livelihood, ultimately, to do that research, to present you with information on a daily basis, if possible, and kind of keep you informed. The downfall of being a YouTuber is a lot of people like to come to us and say, what should I buy? What should I do? And I personally won't tell anybody to buy anything. I won't tell anybody, oh, well, you need to buy XYZ. I just tell everybody, well, my favorite project's Cardano. I've invested heavily into Cardano for years. I let people know what I've done. But I also say to people, when you're getting into the cryptocurrency space, it really is about high risk, high reward. Okay. And high risk meaning you could absolutely lose everything you put into the crypto space, especially if you're buying into whatever some YouTuber's telling you to. And I'm not saying that because YouTubers are wrong or YouTubers are dirty or shady or whatever. Some of them are. But the reality is none of us are right all the time. None of us know 100%. Some of us are doing paid segments that we don't disclose. Some of us are, we got huge bags of a particular project, and we just want to pump the hell out of it to try and make a quick buck, right? I mean, there are all sorts of YouTubers out there, and it's not just in crypto, it's about in any industry. So you have to be very cautious of that. And so this is where I stand. I know that a lot of you guys have noticed I don't do a lot of these top 5, top 10 crypto videos where I'm basically telling you, what all my favorite picks are, and this coin's going to make $1 million, or this coin can make you $1 million. I don't do a lot of that stuff anymore because early on when I got into the crypto space and everything was new to me and I hadn't seen a full cycle go through and I hadn't experienced that, I didn't know any better. Quite frankly, I just didn't know any better. When you get into the cryptocurrency space at a time where the market is booming and everything's rising, you feel like a genius. You feel like I could throw money into everything I like because I must just be that good at making good picks. Now it's bullshit. It's just bullshit. And a lot of us has built a reputation on YouTube from that kind of bullshit. Just being honest. The very idea that that we somehow know things that you can't find out yourself or understand yourself, it's bullshit. None of us are special. I have, at one point in, 2017, 2018, I got into 35 different crypto positions. Some of them, the majority of them, I thought were going to take over the world. And out of all of that and all of this time, what I've learned is the majority of projects that are in the crypto space are likely garbage, and they're not going to stand the test of time. They're not even going to stand the test of the next couple to 3 years. And if you're talking about investing in projects today that you think are going to make you rich tomorrow, it's probably not going to happen, because the reality is the project that you love so much right now isn't going to last. It's not even going to be around. The team's going to break up. A new regulation is going to shut it down, or anything could happen. Okay. And I want to make sure that you know that and that you understand that this is high risk, high reward. High risk, high reward in the sense that, people that have invested in Ethereum when it was just a few pennies are doing very well now that have held long term. But if you had invested in 10 or 15 different projects back when Ethereum first came out, you wouldn't really have a clue what's going to hit, what's going to miss, what's going to close, what team is going to go away. You wouldn't know that. So if you put $1,000 into each of these, 5 or 10 different projects, and Ethereum was one of them, well, the idea is that the money you make and profit from Ethereum against all the losses of the other projects that go to the wayside is going to far outweigh, everything that you've done. So like out of the 35 projects that I got into, many of them have done very well, but not done very well against Ethereum, right? And, by the time all was said and done, I ended up moving a lot of those positions into Cardano. Why did I do that? I'll tell you why. While there's a lot of orchestrated FUD and so forth going on about Cardano, the reality is this is a very scientific approach to establishing a new blockchain ecosystem that's never been done before, with minds the likes of which Charles Hoskinson, for one of the co-founders of Ethereum, right? I know he hates that. I know he hates when people say that, but it's kind of it's true, right? I mean, you have an accolade. You are a part of creating something that's taking the world by storm with smart contracts. Now he's taking what he learned from that and he's perfecting it, and he's bringing other minds in to make sure he's on the right path, that the development cycles and the goal, the directions of this project are agreed upon by a large variety of people. A lot of this peer-reviewed research and, just a lot of different things that are going into this. The mistakes of yesterday being corrected in a blockchain for today and should hopefully carry us on for eons to come. And the team, Charles, the decisions that were made early on, just the sheer technical value of this project drew me in. And it's one of the projects out of all of the others that far outweighed and continued to surpass everything in terms of growth post bottom, right? So when we had the last peak and we watched all these projects tank 80% or more, right? Cardano is one that I noticed was making significant strides back to the upside after the bottom of this market. And so I would take, what I had and I would put it into Cardano. And it's so far it's been doing pretty well. It's at some points I've outweighed what I originally started with in Ethereum, right? And so, but it's come back down because now it's down by like 50% against Ethereum. But what's also happening? What's happening is, just like everything else in crypto, it's this whole buy the rumor, sell the news, right? And so you see a lot of that. But what you don't see as far as it's related to Cardano definitely seems to stand out on its own. When Bitcoin or Ethereum are pumping, Cardano's either sideways or might even be dipping a little bit. And then once that stuff settles down and everything else settles down, then Cardano will just go on this parabolic run out of nowhere that nobody sees coming because everybody's too busy listening to all the Twitter FUD and all the bullshit that they're not really paying attention to what's actually happening on chain. They're not paying attention to what's actually happening in terms of development milestones, new partnerships, relationships, especially, technology that's coming out on the blockchain. SundaeSwap just launched their testnet. Did you know that? Probably not. When SundaeSwap launches, probably mainnet, I'm going to guesstimate here within 2 to 3 weeks, roughly, probably on the 3-week side. When that goes live, you're going to have the first big decentralized exchange launching on Cardano. What do you think is going to happen then? What happened when it happened on Ethereum? What happens when everybody's able to do all of the same DeFi stuff and start putting their Cardano to use that they've been holding for a long time or accumulating for a long time, and they're paying their much smaller fees for these DeFi applications, the yield farms, and all this other stuff that's going to blow up all over the Cardano ecosystem? What's going to happen? Cardano's likely going to skyrocket. And when that does happen, then once again, a lot of these naysayers on the Cardano blockchain are going to start saying, oh gosh, well, I don't know. How are they going to move the goalpost next? But if you remember early on in Ethereum, it was a very similar situation to Cardano today. When Ethereum was trying to build itself and achieve adoption and established apps and applications and things like that, it had a million fudsters all over the place. Basically, what I'm saying is the more FUD I see about Cardano, the more I understand that the people that are fearful of the progress of this blockchain are the ones that stand to lose the most when Cardano does very well. And that's why I tune it out and I laugh a little bit sometimes. Sometimes it gets downright frustrating because I have witnessed several just blatant lies because there are people out there that'll say anything, they really will. So the idea of all of this whole kind of lecture is, out of all of the projects that I got into back in 2017, it's all boiled down to maybe a few of those, 3 or 4 of those that significantly outweighed and outshined everything else. So I went about it as kind of a venture capitalist approach, where venture capitalists, they go into 35 different projects, knowing that, 3 to 5 of those projects and the profit that they generate from the successes of those are going to far outweigh the losses of all the rest that don't perform. And that's kind of the way I went about it. And I'm still waiting to see how that plays out. But I'm very, very bullish on Cardano for 1,000,001 reasons. That's not even to say that Cardano is the focus of this. This isn't what it's about. What it's about is being able to understand that there's significant risk in trying to achieve significant profits in the cryptocurrency space, and to turn 3,000 into, $10 million is extremely rare. And hindsight is always 2020, right? We can all look back and say, oh, if I would have just got into this, or I would have put more into that. Or, there was one point, I talked about this. There was one point I could have bought 400,000 ADA for one Bitcoin. That was the spread between the price of Bitcoin and Cardano. I could have got 400,000. I could have millions of Cardano right now, and I didn't do it. I averaged in over time. I did what I could. It is what it is. I'm not complaining, but those are the opportunities. And that's also how the psychology of a really, really small price and I'm not saying I didn't buy any back then. I didn't take what Bitcoin I had been saving up and for years since the beginning, because I have Bitcoin that I never sold. I left it. I didn't touch it. Right. And I paid income tax on it. I was just reminded of that. Like, I paid the income tax on the Bitcoin that I never even sold into cash yet. Because back in 2017, that's how a lot of these projects would pay YouTubers, is in Bitcoin. So, it's the point I'm really trying to make here is that if you go into every project expecting to lose, you'll never be disappointed. But you really have to better understand how to do things yourself, how to better understand that, listen, the money you put in could very well be lost, and it's just the nature of the game. So many things are changing so regularly. When I look at the NFT market and the big craze and, oh my gosh, NFTs, honestly, NFTs are a big money laundering tool, folks. And that's one of the only reasons why a lot of these NFTs shoot up in value so much, because it's a lot easier for somebody that's trying to launder money to go into an NFT, a little rock, a JPEG image of a rock, buy that NFT, knowing that there's been a market for it because it's been traded up 1,000 times. And they know, if I buy this right now, I'm likely going to be able to sell it because we have so much more time in the market and everybody's kind of supporting each other in that sense. There are entire communities, I'm sure, that are associated with basically, I'm going to buy this NFT, who's going to buy it off of me next week kind of thing. I'm not in any of those, but I assume that they exist. I have to assume they exist. It's got to be coordinated to some degree. And that's how a little cartoon of a rock can sell for like over $1 million. It's not because it's creative art. It's not because of any other reason. Then people are basically putting money into this and they're getting money back out that's legitimate. It's almost like they're just washing their own money, right? And there's some risk associated with that because there's always going to be somebody left holding a bag at some point. So how that gets played out, I don't really know. But if you think that a little JPEG rock sells for $1 million because it's considered fine, valuable art, you got another thing coming. That's not what's happening here. And so, rarity plays a factor, and there's marketability, and there's a lot of different variables of what makes some of these collections and different NFTs successful. But ultimately, that's the game when it comes to NFTs. So, you don't just go out and buy the first series of NFTs just because they're cool or whatever. You can. If you just generally like to collect them. But if you're buying NFTs because you think you're going to make $20 million, it's not very likely. Okay, that's my point. So, crypto cash grabs versus fundamentals. Decentralization is key. Teams are key. I left myself notes because I know I can ramble. When I look at cryptocurrency projects, honestly, I prefer going into projects at this point, especially if there's venture capitalist money in it, I kind of shy away because I know that a lot of times the venture capitalists get out first. And oftentimes after a big public sale or whatever's going on, those VCs are going to dump their private sale, pre-sale, seed phase tokens on the heads of everyone else that just bought in. They're going to dump the price. And at that point, it's going to be up to whatever capital the team is able to muster or what they've accumulated through the sale for marketing, development, and so forth and so on. But I've seen so many projects that they get privately funded or they get funded through a VC group. They go public with everything. They build up to a certain milestone. And then when times get tough, they just fold. And it's just like, I'm not really about that. And on top of that too, I'm not big on projects that are competing directly with something else. I want it to either take that technology to the next level, and I want to believe that the individuals associated with that project have the means of completing it and taking it there. I need to see innovation. I need to see fundamentals over FOMO. FOMO only lasts so long. And so, I guess to sum a lot of this up, for those of you still listening to this ramble, is if I get into a project today, it's because I believe that if for some odd reason I don't get out of that project at the peak of the market, that it's going to come full circle next market when things start ramping up again and treat me very well, not go to the wayside, not be forgotten about, not, the team's not going to break up. Or I like people like Alex Mashinsky, like Charles Hoskinson, like Nuno at Utrust. I like guys, I like these, or gals really, anybody with a real mission, a passionate mission, a problem in the world they want to solve to change the ecosystem, to change the world as it is today. And for good reason. I'm not into projects that are just going to be the next 10x FOMO cash grab. Everybody gets in and gets out, and I'm not into that crap anymore. I don't care about that shit anymore. I've learned. I know what it means. I know the difference of it, and that's why you don't see a lot of that shit on my channel anymore. Because having been through a full cycle, I could do all kinds of videos that are going to get a bunch of views with these, tricky titles and things, and blow myself up and make a bunch of more money and this and that. But that's not what I'm fucking here for, man. It's like, I struggle every day with coming up with reasons to do a YouTube video because I'm just not inspired by the majority of the shit shows out there. And they look cool today and they look great right now, and they're sucking up everybody's cash like a bunch of vacuum cleaners. But the reality is, when the market drops, so is your wallet balance. And there isn't going to be a damn thing you can do about it except for hope that it stands the test of time and continues to reach milestones and develop throughout this next bear market into the next peak into 2024, 25, 26. And if it doesn't, you're fucked. And that's all you're going to have is, I got into this project because it looked really cool, and this guy said it was great, and there was FOMO, and I don't want to do that anymore. And I don't even want to drive people to do that. I've learned so much over the years in crypto, and I've seen so many things come and go, so much ebb and flow. And for me, honestly, if it's not in the top 20 of the crypto coin market cap, it probably doesn't have much interest for me anymore. It's just the way it is. There are some passion projects that I really like Divi Token. I still love Utrust. I love a lot of these projects because they're actively building, they're actively developing. But don't get into crypto expecting to just buy into something, forget all about it, go about your life, and you're just going to wake up rich tomorrow. That's just not how this is going to work, folks. It's just not. I don't really know what else to say other than, if everybody, I don't know, depending on the comments below in this video, do you guys want me to do a full video of all the different tools, indicators, everything that I use to kind of gauge the market and what's happening, where I pull a lot of my information? I'm happy to do that. Just let me know what you think in the comments below. Are there any points that I maybe have forgotten about? I feel like, honestly, I've forgotten more than a lot of newcomers know. And I've been very uninspired. Honestly, I've been very uninspired. And, I think the whole blockchain space is going to be changing even more drastically over the next bear market, because I think that when things settle down and everybody's counting their money and the winners are counting their stash and the losers are counting their tears, I think that the regulation is going to get stronger. I think a lot of stuff is going to really start shaping up and changing between, the peak of this market and the next market cycle. I really do. And I don't know. I mean, some of it, like I said, it's very scary. All I can say is just be very, very careful. If there are projects that you want me to look into, I will try to start doing some more of that. Because I do think, even if I almost want to come at it from an approach of like projects to steer people away from instead of projects that I think are going to 10x, 20x. A lot of the projects in the space are probably going to 10x, 20. I mean, I don't know, not from here. I feel like it might be a little late. Depends on when the peak is. If the peak is in June, we've got plenty of time. And there are a lot of projects that are going to 10x from here. But, you know, the question is how are a lot of these going to perform against Ethereum or Bitcoin, so forth. So, I mean, that's the challenge today. It's figuring out what's going to outperform what, not just what's going to do well. And I think a lot of the stuff is going to be based on fundamentals. And to me, there's still no other winner than Cardano. You know, there are other projects out there that I think are going to do well. But for me, Cardano's the one that if I got stuck in it for another 5 years, I would be fine. I'd be fine with that. Because I truly believe in what they're doing. And I've been paying attention, unlike the majority of people out there that just don't know. Hell, I just saw a whole video about Edward Snowden talking about Cardano and how, you know, it's on the lips of a lot of people on the inside and this and that, and it's going to do really well and all that. And I'm like, of course it is. I mean, look at who's building it. Look at the approach to the building it. You know, I think we're going to get surprised by a lot of developments on the Cardano blockchain over you know, the months and years to come. I am waiting for Sunday Swap. I am absolutely waiting on Sunday Swap. I am planning on getting in on that. You know, the test net has launched and I'm good. All right, let's talk about this. This is a paid segment for Strong Inu. You know, here's the thing. When it comes to these meme tokens, I think it's safe to say for the most part that a lot of these meme tokens it's almost like pet rocks to me over and over again. You know, pet rock is all marketing. It was this guy who got rocks, he put them in fancy packaging, he boxed them all up, and then he sold them to kids, right? And the kids just wanted a pet. I don't know, pet rock made sense, sold like, I don't remember how much, but it made the guy stupid wealthy. And I kind of look at these meme tokens like that. Meme tokens are fun because you can buy a whole bunch of them for very little money. And if they go up and their marketing is on point and they can build that FOMO and that kind of environment where people are buying into it for shits and giggles, they can treat people really well. You just got to make sure you get out when you need to get out. That's the thing with meme tokens, because when they crash, they hit hard. But this is a paid segment. Disclosures in the comments below. You can check that out if you'd like. Total supply of Strong Inu is 1 billion tokens. So that's actually, I mean, you know, yeah, I mean, I guess that's cool compared to, I see some with a quadrillion or I see some with trillions. I'm like, this is insanity. But at least with this, I mean, you got 1 billion tokens. SpaceMap hype marketing. I mean, I think that the fact that these guys are so obvious and so like out front with it, like, hey, this is fun. This isn't like we're launching this meme token. They've got money. I know they got money because they paid me to talk about it. And, you know, I don't know. We've got hype marketing Q4 2021. I guess that's a part of why I'm here. Strong Inu goes to space, CoinGecko listing, celebrity onboarding, Coin Market Cap listing. It's already on Coin Market Cap right now. So, yeah, there it is. Currently trading at not 7,581, up 6%. Volume of $10,500. That's my biggest problem. The volume's got to get up, because if you bought a whole bunch of these tokens and let's say it got up to not 1 cent, you're going to have a really difficult time getting out of that position. That's the only thing. However, you know, if their marketing is on point and they continue to build this thing up, then you never know. Custom logo generation, heavy Chinese market expansion, strong staking, community giveaways, TFL marketing and London Underground, exchange listings, worldwide billboard campaigns. Now, that's the one thing that I'm like, why billboards? Billboards don't really seem to do crap anymore unless you're promoting a gun show. I mean, billboard marketing anymore, there are much cheaper ways to get a word out than billboards. I guess it's because it's so difficult, if not near impossible, to advertise cryptocurrency stuff on platforms like Facebook or Google or whatever. You got to have a license. You got to do all kinds of stuff now. And I think they limit it to exchanges, but there are still ways. I mean, like almost every crypto news site out there will sell you banner ads, or even articles, or, you know, even like Forbes. I mean, there are so many different places where you can pay for advertising that way. But I mean, I don't know. I don't know. I'm curious to see how that works. Q1 of 2022, Project N, NFT minting, 100% of proceeds used for buyback, partnership and multi-chain bridge, project and multi-chain expansion, NFT evolution. And okay, so that's Q2 of 2022. This is already launched. There is no pre-sale. There was a small private sale, which is now closed. I mean, that's all cool. When will the initial liquidity and market cap be? We will have a starting market cap of approximately $75,000 and an initial liquidity of 8 Ethereum. So, I mean, that, you know, I mean, this is, I feel like they're at least pretty transparent about things. It's not, what slippage should I use? Please use 8 to 12% slippage when purchasing. That's a lot. I mean, just my opinion. That's a lot. I know it's paid. I need to be like all glowing, but you guys know how I roll. I'm always straight up. I like their art. I like the comic style. So this is the white paper, strong Inu white paper, tokenomics, 1 billion token supply, 4% is going to marketing, 1% development, 2% liquidity, development liquidity. So, okay. Our contract has been audited by Solidity Finance and has been cleared from external threats with owner functions scope outlined clearly at, and then the web address, and that's clickable. So you can check that out. Our team has also externally KYC to ensure your safety with the Azure. So yeah, I've seen this before. Let me click this and see what pops up here. Data education and transparency for DeFi. Apparently this is a group that does like internal KYC of project owners, but for DeFi that don't want to make themselves public. But I guess they have like a you know, like if you want to know who's who, I mean, you go to this, or at least this might be for like, you know, I don't know. But I've seen this pop up before, that people are like DeFi based teams or meme token teams and stuff. They're doing their KYC through that. So we've already gone through this roadmap here. Nodes as a service. Now, this is supposed to be the big use case for this meme token. Following the Nodes Universal Basic Income model, well established by Strongblock, we have intertwined our twist and upgraded to fit both meme and metaverse sectors. Incentivizing nodes is absolutely necessary in the current Ethereum climate, with the massive increase in congestion, with the majority of current nodes running out of date software, maintain incomplete blockchain histories, and are intermittently offline. Wow, there is no easy mechanism to fix this problem once a blockchain is launched. So why build it on Ethereum? That's like, look at this blockchain. It's got all these problems and it's congested and it's expensive, but we're going to build a token on it. Okay. So basically these guys are saying, look, we're going to launch nodes as a service to kind of help some of this. Fair enough. But I mean, to combat this issue, nodes are needed. We aim to solve this issue by rewarding users with passive income and making it as simple as taking a few clicks to set up and create a node. By creating a CNU node, you will be earning more CNU tokens every single day. I mean, look, that's cool. I mean, that's cool. You know, and I know that I know that it sounds all the time like I hate Ethereum. It's not that I hate Ethereum. I just hate how expensive it is to use. It's like either fix it or move on to Cardano. So this is pretty cool. I mean, check this out. I don't know. It could be this to me is like one of those fun little like hobby type projects where you can get in super cheap, play a role in things. If it works out, great. If it doesn't, you didn't lose anything really. Like you didn't lose much. But I don't know. I just think I think the little puppy dog is cute. I think the little blue dog is cute. Sustaining node rewards. At base, we have 150 million token lock reserved for the reward pool, which we will predict should last between 2 to 3 years at minimum. I mean, that's cool. We will constantly be adding to this reward pool by taking 10% of the CNU used to pay for a node and adding it to the reward pool. 20% of CNU used to pay for a node will be burned. 10% will go to our development fund to ensure constant maintenance. Comic book minting, marketing. I mean, we know that they're putting money into marketing. We are currently listed on Uniswap and will be listed on Bitmart by the 20th of December. Multi-chain expansion. We aim to bridge to be Binance Smart Chain by the end of Q1 to allow for increased amount of investors and allow for a larger platform to be accessible. All right, so I mean, there you have it. It's strong ENU. I mean, there's not a lot of volume at all. I mean, that's my only big concern. I mean, this is they're just getting started with all of this. Audited by Solidity Finance. Check it out. If you're into this kind of stuff, you like the meme tokens, you think they're fun, for better or worse, have at it. I do your thing. I don't know. I think to some degree they're kind of fun, but ultimately they're not my personal thing. I don't really get into them myself, but in some cases it's kind of fun for beginners, because I can't tell you how many people I know that buy these ENU tokens and they get a kick out of it. And a lot of them say the same thing, like, well, if I lose, I only lost $100, but I got like 12 billion of these tokens for $100. So anyway, that is that. Crowmining.com if you're into spending money on my Bitcoin mining hardware and hope to recover. And I mean, that's it. Hopefully the message of this video bodes well for you and kind of explain some things. I don't know. I just feel like I had to get some stuff off my chest, so I used 30 minutes of your time to do that. So hopefully you don't mind. Let me know in the comments below. And until next time, guys, crow your coins. I'll see you soon.